Hi, it's Karen, and I decided to do a second video. I think I'm going to do a lot of videos, regardless of whether there's just nobody watching or two people watching. It's kind of like freeing, actually, that you're not here yet, because, well, you're here now when you're watching this, but right now, like today, it's a new channel, so who's gonna watch a new channel? Nobody. So I get to kind of be free and play and figure this out as I go along, because this is definitely something that has been calling me. And so I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about, what are you doing? What action have you taken or not taken, or that you're supposed to take, in order to move you closer to your calling? What is that action? And if you already feel like you're like, oh, Karen, I'm already in my action, I'm in my total flow in my action, then what is the next step for you? What's the shift? What's the evolution today? And I am going to pull a couple of cards. I have these cards from Carolyn Mace's Archetype. It's actually from a book, Sacred Contracts. So if you know Carolyn Mace, this brilliant woman, I've been following her stuff. I've been studying her for like 2 decades. She's incredible. And so I have her Archetype card deck, which is so freaking cool. So I have that. I'm going to pull a couple cards. And I'm also going to pull a couple of cards, again, like last time, from the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck. And that is also, like, the author of that deck is Tony Carmine Salerno. And he's done some cool stuff. I got turned on to him many years ago, when I was going through a heartbreak, and he made a beautiful CD. It's probably online now, and I forgot what it's called, honestly, but you can look him up. And the CD was like guided meditations, and I wasn't at that time even really that into meditation that much. And it was very, very helpful. I'll just say that. So back to you. What are we solving today? I mean, what is going on for you? Because this channel is about moving things forward. I hear this term a lot in like the entrepreneurial space, where a lot of gurus in that space use the term moving the needle forward. And I kind of like it, like I dig it, because it gives me like a visual, you could actually see the needle moving forward. And I really, really enjoy taking very practical, well, I should say, I really enjoy taking actions that are practical, that help us in our spiritual evolution and in the calling that we have. And a lot of people are wanting advice about their relationships. They're wanting advice about twin flames and stuff like that. That's what I've noticed in the tarot space. And I think that's awesome. But I also feel like there's room to also talk about, like, you that's watching this, and like how we can help to like solve problems as you go along from a broader perspective, and then bring it down to like today and this moment, and always coming back to this moment, because the spiritual path is about being in the moment, and the path of being human is also a spiritual path, and it's about coming into the moment. Why that? Why being in the moment? Because when we're in the moment, that is where all the magic happens. I think I said this last time about the place deep, deep, deep in the heart. We cannot reach the place deep, deep, deep in the heart unless we come into the present moment. And so whenever we're struggling with stuff, there's stuff going on that is taking us out of the present moment. It's taking us like up here. Do you know what I mean? When you're like feeling like you're all up here and it's like, whether it's overwhelm, whether it's fear, whether it's like, you know, just a hellish situation, right? Or like a hellish sort of vibe. It's really hard. It really is a hard thing. Like, I really, really hope that you're being gentle with yourself. I really, really hope you are. I hope you're being really gentle with yourself, because it's tough to be human. It's not easy to be in these bodies and like, you know, acclimate and live the way we're living, and it's all temporary. I mean, how many years do we really have here on the planet? You know, many of us, how many more years do we have? So I'm thinking for myself, how many more years do I have? I don't know, but like, what, 40, 50, 60, I mean, 60 years, you know, 70. I'm not going to be here in 70 years, I don't think. Okay. Now that we've covered the temporariness of our lifetimes, which probably like, I hope it didn't instill more fear. That wasn't the point, because there really is a lightness to all of everything that we're experiencing. And so, talk to me. What is it that's going on with you? I have a feeling that there is something that's been pulling on you. There's something that feels like it's been tugging at you. There's something that you've been working with to overcome. And that, I'm saying that not only because I have an intuitive sense in this moment, but it's because that is a huge part of our human experience. And if you're not going through something right now, then you are not really living life. And so congratulations. Like, if you're going through something really difficult, congratulations, you're alive, you're here, you're in the experience of this life on earth, and welcome. I feel like that was channeled. Like, that is channeled. Spirit is welcoming you to earth. I feel a lot of guides present. Okay. So I'm going to actually do that. Pull 2 cards from here, 2 cards from there, and we're going to see what. I'm going to start with the archetype deck, okay? So one is, I'm going to read this to you after, but like child, wounded child. Okay, so with Carolyn Mace's deck, there's light attributes and then there's a shadow attribute. Like with each archetype, there's a light and a shadow. I'm going to read both of those to you, and then we're going to see what the story is. But on a story, and so the next one is storyteller. So storyteller, and there's also light and shadow on those. I'm going to start there before picking from, you know, this. And then what I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to put the cards down on the table, and then I could just be my own camera person, and I'm going to just tilt the computer down. And then at the end, you'll get to see all the cards. So brilliant. I'm glad that we're already solving problems. Okay, so let's see what we have here, and let's see what Spirit wants to say, what I'm going to say. Why did I just get blurry? Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay, let's take a deep breath. Oh, that just tripped me out because, like, I think it's because I moved the thing. Anyways, so first I'm going to read to you like a storyteller, which is the next card, but I'm going to read to you. So the first archetype card that we pulled is the light attributes of that card is awakening compassion and desire to serve other wounded children opens the learning path of forgiveness. The shadow attributes blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Well, we know what that's, yeah, like, Resists moving on through forgiveness. So resisting, okay. Storyteller, light attributes ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. That's beautiful. Shadow attribute, making up tales that harm others. Okay. I don't think any of us are working with our shadow attribute of storyteller. Making up tales that harm others? Probably not. Well, I mean, you could be. Are you? I hope you're not. That could also be like, are you, are you not telling the truth to somebody and like lying to them by not telling the truth? That could be something happening. Sometimes trying to protect another person and not telling them the truth about something is actually hurting them. And I don't think I'm saying this for nothing. So I can hold these. So the wounded child, the light attributes were helping others that have, were also wounded as a child. It's kind of probably, well, I don't know anybody that hasn't been, but I do feel like those of us that really have been working through all of those childhood traumas and things like that, or we already have worked through them, a lot of times feel a calling to sit and help other people through that. This could also be about children. Okay, I'm going to pull the angel cards so that I don't get ahead of myself here. The two angel cards. I think this is like going to connect together as a theme, and that's why I felt stopped from continuing to read the archetype cards. Yeah, and this feels like, okay, so these are the two cards that came out from the angel deck. I'm going to read to you what they say. The first one, so that one, I don't know if you want to look at him for a second. I don't know if you feel anything there. This could be a person that you know. This is all going to connect with what we're going to solve. Like something is needing shifting. Okay. And that's why I came on here, and that's what this particular message is all about. So, okay. You are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict. And the other card is the Angel of Emergence. And she says, it is time for the real you to emerge. So the feeling I get is there is something going on, and there's something that needs a little change or shifting. And again, it could be about children. It doesn't have to be about children, but it could be because of your own wounded child that you're making something up. I know I am taking the shadow part of the storyteller archetype right now for this reading, because it's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling that there is somebody, or more than one person that is using their woundedness, their own childhood traumas, and is like making up a story or not telling the truth to somebody. And there is a conflict going on. And so walking away from a conflict, and I want to say that the conflict could also be inside of yourself that's being asked to walk away from. Like, what stories are you telling yourself that are not true about yourself? Even if it's not about another person, what stories are you telling to yourself about yourself that are not true? You know, like, our minds are so powerful. We tell a lot of stories. You know, we run a lot of programs. We tell a lot of stories. Many of them are not true. You know, the ones that are true, we feel it in our heart, and there's a knowing. There's a resonance about it. And this just like it feels as though somebody's trying to put you down or keep you disempowered. But the truth of that is that I'm putting these down. This is the only one I want to hold up. The truth of that is that it's a story. It's a story. And did I tell you that at the end of this, I'm going to shine the camera? I did. I told you that. I'm going to shine the camera on the cards. So I'm not going to do that right now. There is no real disempowerment in this. There is the conflict is happening inside of yourself. And it's coming from a really deep place, like a subconscious, like something you're not aware of. Okay, the wounded child, I guess we're using the shadow of that too, but that's what is coming up right now. It's like, it's because of a wounding that you had as a child, okay, whether that was mental, emotional, physical, you know, a trauma is a trauma. A trauma is a trauma is a trauma. It's like, and nobody's is better or less than. And if you're arguing with somebody about who's been more hurt or something like that, it's like, there is none of that. There, you know, everybody has their journey to live in this life and on this planet for as long as they are here. And nobody has, in my view, nobody has it like harder. I know this is going to be a conflicting thing to say even, but I don't believe that anybody has it less hard or more hard. I think that we each have a path to lead, and each of our paths leads to what we do with the cards that were dealt. The cards. So yeah, there's cards here. So what are you going to do with these cards? So Spirit says, what are you going to do about it? That takes us back to the beginning of this. Thank God that something is connecting here. What are you going to do? What action are you going to take now? What action are you going to take? Are you going to, so when I said not for nothing that my belief is that each person on earth has the opportunity, no matter what the circumstances are, to choose how to navigate. Okay, and that does take a lot of skill. It takes discernment, it takes wisdom, and a lot of what I'm talking about is what you're going to release from your mind so that you can be free to experience who you are, the positive attributes of the storyteller, which here, according to Carolyn Mace, is the ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols, just like what we're doing here. So whatever your calling is, right? Whatever your current calling is like, that's where it's at. You know, if anything is coming in the way of that, it's the shadow of the wounded child right now. I don't know who this is. You might. But it could be your own inner. I'm just gonna say because it's only because it's like a male figure, the masculine. It reminds me of the masculine, and this masculine right here looks really sad to me. Does he look empowered to you? Because he doesn't look empowered to me. Um, he just kind of looks. I mean, he looks a bit surrendered, but it doesn't feel like he's in his power. Is your masculine, whether that's a person or your inner masculine, is your inner masculine in power? Or are they connecting to the wounded child? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me, and then I want to know. I want to know. It's time for the real you to emerge. And the essence of who we are is the real us. The essence of who we are doesn't have the baggage of the wounded child with us. We have already gotten many of the lessons that were necessary on our path. And now, what spirit is saying, what consciousness is saying, what the planet's evolution is saying right now is that just let that stuff go. Let that stuff go, because there's no more time for that anymore. You know, I really feel also like that period and the stage of consciousness that a lot of people in the collective were really like digging in deep to their childhood stuff. Cosmically, that ship has sailed. Okay, so the ship that is there now with people like really digging into that, you know, very deeply still and getting stuck in that, it's unnecessary and it's somewhat of an illusion. It's somewhat of an illusion in terms of like the healing quality of it. That's not how to heal anymore. I don't know how good of a healing mechanism it was to begin with. But, you know, Carolyn Mace wrote a really good book on why people don't heal. What's this called? Help me out here. Why people don't heal and how they could, or something like that. But she learned through working for many years with people and doing a lot of consciousness work and breaking through patterns and all this kind of stuff. And she came out one day and said, you know what, I am at a place where I realize like people don't want to heal and they're not healing. People are staying in their stories. They're staying in their story. Storyteller is coming out again. What stories are still staying in your head, in your mind? This is important. It's really important just to notice the stories, because these stories, like, you know, they can keep this going, you know, indefinitely if we choose that. And there's an opportunity now in the evolution of consciousness to release those stories. So that's big. That's big. I think that's big. All right. I'm glad we had that talk. Very glad we had that talk. All right. So I will talk to you soon. I'm going to show you the cards, and I'm going to tune off for now. And I'm going to make another video soon because this is really fun. And this is something I thought would be so scary. I was so scared. I was so scared. And I'm not that scared, which is very strange. Do the thing you're scared of, because you know what? It's not that scary. It's not that scary. It's a freaking illusion. All right. All right, let's do this for everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Lots of love. I even have them facing towards you. That is my meticulous nature coming out. I have I found this out recently that I have, what do you call it? I'm a Libra, but I have a Capricorn. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, North Node. North Node Capricorn. So take that for whatever you think that means.
On my way home, snow kept falling and falling and turned into rain. The rain dried up and the sun shone again.